Now, hello there, everyone. Today we're going to be reviewing something that was last minute. This video is basically last minute, but I think in a good way. Today, it's going to be hard. I don't know if it's a official figure because the packaging looks official enough by from AliExpress for a good pricing. So you tell me what you think. Today we're going to be looking over, and the box did come like this. I really wish AliExpress. I'm going to say this before I even to the figure. I really wish AliExpress would fix their packaging problem. But, however, one of the other figures I did get, let me get done here. This figure right here. It's honestly about like a black and silver fragrance. I won't review this one. This is for my mom. She is into purple stuff, so the box and packaging was safe, but yet again, this one had the box like crunched, so not the best idea. But the figure is the Figma number 14 Hatsune Miku. Now, I do love Hatsune Miku. I have her in Fortnite. Since we're saying today this because I don't have a lot of time to play it. And that's kind of tells me that I don't have a lot of time to anyway, so. And it comes with accessories, extra hands, and I will point out what you do need to fix some parts of it, a joint marker. But we'll get that when it comes to certain points or certain joints that do suffer. Now the packaging is really messed up, but however, I think it looks very official. I really hope because it says the max factory second whatever it is, it's all there. Now let's take a quick look at the figure because I bought this for I think around $20, like a different AliExpress. What do you expect from me to buy? So we're taking a look at the figure, the psychic picture, and everything else. So let's look. Now the figure itself, I did put on the stand for the reason. Whatever. I will say I did put on the stand because I don't know if it can stand by itself, and I will say the figure does look fantastic actually. I will say this part does feel a little loose, but I do think I think that's how it works. There is some paint problems, say chipping, but yeah. But I will say the figure itself looks fantastic from every angle. I'm looking at the camera from my angle, because it's prompting to. It is a slow film, slow stuff right now, but I don't care. But articulation, this is where the big problem because you are buying some AliExpress. I will say certain parts do feel a little wonky because you can tell right here. You do need to do certain things to make it feel a little more tighter. If I had to be honest with you, the neck joint itself is not that strong. But I did do the joint pin so it do straighten certain points up. Because you can see some points do feel like they're coming or look ready to pop out. Like so they get to, because you can't pop these out, yes. And I will say what you gotta do is just thicken it up. And I did buy this from I think online store. So thicken it up, put it back in. So it does hold up more longer within processing. Now articulation, it does have one ball joint, so each limb has a ball joint. And I will say the arms are very detailed, but articulation arm can go that far. But it gets straight up really this far upwards, so which is really good because it is Hatsune Miku we're talking about here. It could go out this far, which makes its actual figure for God's sake. The knee could go out pretty far back, surprisingly for a figure. The foot is on a pivot, and it can go full 360 if you want to. Which I don't know why you would, but the hands. So the hands itself is basically a swivel up and down. The hair is also a silver as well. A little tight, I'm gonna be honest. The neck is on a rotation. You can go look up that far and look down that far, which you can look them more downwards, which is surprisingly it can. It can't really kick up that high, but if you want to give range, you kind of can. But not that much range to a side angle, which is surprising. And it is a ball joint. And yes, you can see Pantu. Surprisingly. This thicking the joint up. So you are putting some white stuff on the joints, which I think is useful for a action figure, which you can use for Gundams too. In case certain joints do feel like they want to come out, just put it back on, which is actually really good to do. And the only problem is this has is it comes off a little too easily. Now, other faces, there are only two faces, and you can't see the neck joint. It is the Figma style they always use. I will say that's kind of a problem, but you can see it can go down a little more, but it looks creepy because you don't have a Miku with a face on. So you do have, I'll make the figure stand on the stand, which is included with it. So you get a blank face and a heavy face, or one that gives more emotion. And there's only one headband, which makes sense. It's Miku, for God's sake. I really would like a pink Miku if I could get one. But I would say thicken up the joints again. Some of these problems do really have their own problems. This is a problem with some of these figures. You do need to really do more work on this. Didn't have to for some bloody reason. There you go. It's just stay in. And sitting with their hairband, which thankfully comes out. Let's just thicken that up. Not too much though. I know some people like Jobby do point out that if you want to make it really stay a little more longer, shoot. Use super glue and then let it dry before you put it back in. Which I think it's a good problem to do. Accessory wise, let's look at that. Now, let's see if the figure can't stand by herself. No. She's too spangly to stand up really. But accessories we have is, like I said, face them. You do get 5 pairs of hands, which is surprising. So you get that's a tight one. Pointing hands, chopped hands, fist, and these open palm hands. So you do get a lot of hands, and the ones I gave her was hands you could hold items with, like her leaks. But they do go in because these RAs are plastic. They don't go in that far, but I think it makes sense why I didn't go that far. Okay. And she has a microphone too, which is all plastic. But she can't hold her mic as well. And the stand. Which is, I think, really cool for her to do in case you want to make her into her idol pose. And her stand. Which, not the best part in the middle. You tighten it up. There it screws them. This is the base of it. I do like how it looks. It feels fantastic. I am touching it. It literally has what it feels like. There's only one porthole, which makes sense. It goes down pretty much that far and up that far. Well, it's a stand. What do you expect to happen? But it does have this part too, but it doesn't stay in. But I just really think it's really meant for something like. But pops off easy too. So joint come. So rub that stuff on there. So you can see the white stuff. I will say Sin does have bubbles, which I can see could be a little annoying if you're looking at it more closely. I can see that being a way more problem later on. and she plugged into the sand very well, which is really good for once. Now, size comparison, because I'll be honest here, my camera going to bug me about this later. Here's the Goof high grade that I did review this month. Leonardo that I never reviewed actually. I do have all the turtles, but I never reviewed them all. Maybe I will, maybe next month. And here is Soundwave from Revenge of the Fallen. Or sorry, Dark of the Moon, actually, Dark of the Moon. I would say it looks fantastic. So let's get my final thoughts on this figure. Now, should you get the figure officially or through AliExpress? I would say get it if you're a big Miku fan, because I listen to her music. Trust me. For a lot of the time that I really do, I really do listen to music. In my book, sorry. The amount of time I have in music, Miku has been part of it, and I know she's been around since I think 2011. I could be a bit off. If I am, don't me comments. However, it looks fantastic of a figure. And I will say, a lot of joints on it is fantastic feeling. However, you do need to get a lot of parts done to get at that point, which I can't see being that a problem if you don't really have a joint pin, or if you don't really have a lot of stuff for joint stuff. I know people will say use super glue, let it dry, and then put it on, back onto the joint. I get that part. I may try them one day, because you always can't get the markers, or the pins for them. But this is my first time really using a pin, because I did use it for a Spider-Man. I am reviewing next month. I am reviewing 2 Spider-Man next month, actually. the Iron Spider suit and a third-party figure of Spider-Man black suit variant. You know what I'm talking about, that people have talked about somewhat, not fully, but I'm excited for it too. Because I am getting the amazing fantasy Spider-Man too, which is from comics. But I will also pick up the black suit official one from Marvel Legends, also the new one that came out a bit ago. That came out for the Secret Wars. That one I'm picking up, which I know is heavily based on, which I know is using the body of which is using the body and head of the Amazing Fantasy Spider-Man. So it's the same figure basically, but in a black suit. However, I'm gonna may show some joints of how to really get it more range. Well, I made sure that in the Iron Spider suit. That one I will show off. In that one. But you will have to wait for it. That one is coming the month after one. So yeah. Sorry, you're gonna wait until November. Sorry, not sorry? I guess. I'm not sure, people. So I hope you have a good day, y'all. Everything should be in my description below, and I hope I see you guys sooner or later next month. Kind of worth recording this a month before, but doesn't matter, does it? Drop my thing. Okay.